Live, up close, and unplugged. National award-winning Studio East, where rock bands get intimate and strip it down acoustically. Studio East, powered by the U.S. Army. They're strong, and then there's Army Strong. Learn more about the U.S. Army at goarmy.com. Now, let's go live. Studio East.
Hey guys, how's it going? I am Sino. Welcome to Studio East. And let's give it up for Altitudes and Attitude.
Well, thank you guys for being here.
Hi guys, how you doing today?
Great.
It's very early.
Thanks for coming in and hanging out.
It's rockers don't. Well, you've probably heard this 1,000 times. Rockers don't get up this early.
Yeah, believe me.
Yeah.
I know. I had to come in early for you.
Well, I'm sorry. See that? And just so you know, the three of us came back from Japan, Australia, and we were really.
Are y'all jet lagged right now?
We just can't get on time.
Yeah, it's amazing. We literally flew from all over the world to meet here in Pleasant Prairie.
And we decided this was the place we wanted to meet. So
the town
thank you for
sounded
being
so
here.
nice.
Wow, I'm like, I feel so flattered that you guys would do that for me.
What a great vibe. I was saying when I came in here, I've never been here before. This is a great vibe in this place. You
Yeah,
know?
we've really tried to make it like this inclusive, awesome,
It really is.
jam spot.
You guys can't see it on radio, obviously, right now, but this is awesome. You feel very comfortable here. So
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thank John Perry over there. He did a lot of the work in here. He's the boss man.
Thank you, John. And he does great monitors. Well, we'll see in a little bit.
So where'd you get your band name from? Who came up with that? What's the meaning behind it?
Okay, so
there.
we started. This whole thing started 5 years ago, and we put out a little EP, a little 3-song EP. And while we're sitting in there, we're writing these first several songs and laying them down. And this thought came to me. I said, "Hey, what about Altitudes and Attitude?" And I didn't know if it was a song title, maybe an album title. I actually quite honestly didn't think of a band title. And Frank and our producer Jay Rustin, we were in L.A. at Jay's place, and he goes, "Yeah, that's cool." And I don't know, there's something hit me about these songs have this kind of sort of this nice spirit about them, this nice lift, the altitude, but then there's also some teeth in them, So some of the tracks are nice and grungy and gritty, and there's the attitude.
It just worked, and plus I was drunk, so I really didn't know what I was talking about. It's all good. It works for some reason. We just call it A&A for short.
Yeah,
So
no.
it's easier for people.
For people, that makes sense, right?
People like me.
For people who are not familiar with your band, why don't you guys just let people out in Radio Land also hear what bands you came from?
Okay, well, our singer, Frank Bello, is the bass player in Anthrax. I play bass in Megadeth. Ironically, I'm the only one playing bass here today. Frank is playing guitar and singing. We have Bumblefoot over here on guitar, and he is kind enough to join us for a lot of our American shows that we do. And behind us, Opus, Christian Lawrence, he's in a band called Dead by Wednesday, who's actually on my record label, on Combat Records. So, and Ron, actually, Bumblefoot also has a record on EMP on my label as well. So we're all part of a big family here.
Dave, how long have you had a label for?
God, 3 years, I think. 3-4 years.
And
I
how's
guess.
that going?
It's two things I always said I would never do: manage a band and have a record label. Now I manage a band and I have a record label. So careful what you don't wish for. And it's cool because there are a couple little emerging artists. There's a little female group, Dollskin, who I actually saw at a high school talent show, and they're now on Hopeless Records, and they're doing the Warped Tour and all the big stuff.
that's
Newfound
cool.
Glory and all this cool stuff. They were really kind of the impetus of it, but as we moved along with it, there's a lot of our friends like Ron here, Bumblefoot. Mark Slaughter, Autograph, Ron Keel, all these Doyle from the Misfits. Our friends, are putting records out, and people are struggling to kind of find how do we do this? We're not really ready to go completely independent on the internet. We want our records in the store. We want to have vinyl. We want to, that's what we grew up with. So there's a part of us we all still want to have that, and I think that's where our record label, the EMP and Combat Record stuff, we can still provide that for especially for our friends.
Hell yeah. Do you guys want to play us a song?
Sure.
I'd love to hear some music.
Is that what we're here? I forgot about that.
This is the first song. Let's do the first song.
Wow. This
The
is
first song.
That's right.
Yeah.
You want to give a background on this?
Sure,
David,
yeah.
or-
So, like I said, about 5 years ago, we did this EP. And because me and Frank have been a little busy, it took us like 5 years to finish the
Been on
LP.
tour.
But this was the very first song that we started with. Frank and I were doing some bass clinics together with the Big Four over in Europe. And the Big Four, of course, are Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax. And we just had an idea one day, let's write some tunes. And this was the first song Frank sent over. And obviously a little more than a bass clinic, this song. So, and it's a really cool tune, and this is called Booze and Cigarettes.
Here we go.
Got no time to waste away. Let them say what they want to say. All I want is to let you live your life. Everyone's gotta live for today. Nobody knows when it's going away. Have to do what makes you feel alright. So get your booze and cigarettes. Do what you want, forget the rest. Do whatever helps you take the ride. So get your booze and cigarettes. Do what helps you feel your best. Do whatever helps you take the ride. Everyone's got their own way of how to deal with their own pain. Nobody really knows what they'll find. Every day is a new day. Find a way to set your pace. Open up the doors of your mind. Your So get your booze and cigarettes. Do what you want, forget the rest. Do whatever helps you take the ride. So get your booze and cigarettes. Do what helps you feel your best. Do whatever helps you take the ride. You don't know, I don't know what the hell tomorrow brings. Nobody ever tells us what it is. Changing all the time without a sign of anything. That was the time for the ride to begin. You don't know, I don't know what the hell tomorrow brings. Nobody ever tells us what it is. So get your booze and cigarettes. Do what you want, forget the rest. Do whatever helps you take the ride. So get your booze and cigarettes. Do what helps you feel your best. Do whatever helps you take the ride.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, folks.
Altitudes and attitudes here in Studio East, thanks to the U.S. Army. I am Sino. That was awesome, guys. Nice
you.
little jam out there, right? I like it.
It's like being in my living room. I'm loving this. Right? It's very cool. It's very cozy here.
This is like a perfect practice spot, you know? Like,
Can we rent this out at this point? It's really,
Sure.
It's really cool.
yeah, just pay me, okay?
There you go.
So obviously, Dave and Frank, you guys have known each other for a while.
been a bit.
Was there anything new that you learned about each other when you started working together on this project?
Yeah, I thought Frank was this really happy-go-lucky guy, and then when we started getting into these songs, I realized just how absolutely disturbed he is, and he's quite demented. Look at he's smiling about it still to this day.
There's a lot of things going on in my head right now. You know, it's weird, and it's funny because Dave and I have known each other for quite a while, and I do have deep, dark thoughts, and in these songs, you know, and the thing about Dave, we work really well, and that's what's good about the altitudes and attitude thing. He's so organized, unlike me. I'm the exact opposite. It's like the odd couple. I mean, he keeps me in check, which is what I really need to focus. It's really.
Did you guys drive each other crazy at times?
I just let him take the reins. I think it's great. Just Dave, what are we doing now? Like even now out here, he's doing what he does, which is awesome. Have fun with it. Yeah, so keep talking. I'll stop.
No, that is it. I mean, it's and you know, I think you know we've never had like really a musical collaboration. You know, and you know, obviously we've shared stages for many years, pretty much since the beginning of our careers with Megadeth and Anthrax, and obviously, how do two bass players ever play together? That's not very often, you know. And so it's funny that we started this because when Frank, that song we just played, Booze and Cigarettes, he sent that over, and right away it was just like, wow, well, Frank is obviously the singer, because we talked about should we get another singer, and Frank's like, you know, I want to sing, and I'm glad we did because I think it's probably one of the most favored reviews of our LP that just came out. We had this full-length album called Get It Out that came out on Megaforce back in January. And people right away are just going, oh, my gosh, Frank's got such a cool voice, soothing.
Thank you.
In fact, I saw one person said, your music sounds very age-appropriate. So I don't know if that means we're old or we're soft or I don't know what it is, but it's cool. It's more of just a rock thing, right?
Yeah.
You know. So
There's a little bit of Dave Grohl going on in there, too.
I'll take it. Dave's he's a good friend, and yeah, I actually still have to get him the CD. You know, because he was barbecuing. The last time I saw Dave Grohl was at Dime Bash in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And we were talking. He was literally cooking all the meat. He got there at 9 a.m. I swear to God,
He's
man.
a big barbecuer, isn't he?
He's amazing. And what he does, he stayed there from 9 a.m. I swear, we left at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. He was there all day cooking. He was incredible. But we were talking about, he goes, whatever. He goes, give me. Of course, I didn't have a CD on me, but I have to get it to him. So it'll happen. I'd like to see that tour. How about Grohl bringing us out?
That would be
with
cool.
The Foo Fighters. Let's put that out. Petition now.
You should totally. That sounds like
Got to hit him up on that. That'd be
fantastic
cool.
idea.
Why not? Give us a shot.
Would you describe yourself as a busier musician now than, say, 15 to 20 years ago?
Absolutely. Oh
You
my
think
gosh.
so?
Yeah, oh, for sure. And I think, the thing is, look, we've grown up in our bands. You hit this season, and years ago it used to be we would have to write songs, make a record, because that then would trigger a world tour. And now I think probably certainly for Anthrax and Megadeth, we don't necessarily need that new album to go out and do it. Sometimes we actually go back and do these 20 and 30-year anniversary, Among the Living, Rust in Peace for Megadeth, etc. Yeah. And because that's what fans want to hear. Sometimes our best path forward is our past. But when it comes to creating new things like this, we have these seasons now where we have some available time. And I think, I think I can speak for all four of us up here. I mean, Ron was just over in Japan, doing clinic things, solo things. Frank and I we had Altitudes and Attitude over in Europe. Our friend Slash was kind enough to take us over and launch the band over on some big arena shows that he was doing over there. And then Frank went to Australia and then to Japan. I stayed in Europe and did a solo bass story thing that I do.
That's why we look like this right now.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of fun because the opportunities are also very creative. It isn't just make a record, go on tour. There's a lot of these little, very creative little moments like that. And even this right here, we got just a week before. I don't know what we probably should be home sleeping right now, but we're out doing this. So I think we really are. I think we're busier, but I think we're probably equally as passionate about everything that's going on. It's not from a place of necessity. It's just from a place of true love and passion for the music.
This is a passion project for sure. I mean, it's not easy to start up a band. Let's face it. In this day and age. So I see what people look. We're in a van. Yeah. We're literally in a van.
Back to the beginning, right?
Back to the beginning. We're setting up stuff. The whole thing. It's kind of cool though. It's a cool vibe. Like you know where you're at, and never forget where you came from. So I really like that aspect of it. I like doing it, and it's all from the heart. It's all from the heart, which I really enjoy doing.
Do you think that there's more going to come out of this, or is this just kind of like a little fling, or do you think you guys are going to continue to work on it passionately?
The fling. Well, for me, I don't think we do anything without trying to go all the way with it.
Okay.
For me, I love doing this. We're having good times. We have those Slash shows are incredible. We played some shows in America here, and the reaction's been incredible. So I just want to keep pushing it and have fun with it.
How'd you guys hook up with this guy, Bumblefoot here?
With Ron, well, we've known. I mean, when was the first time we have a kind of a. Go ahead, you tell the story.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody. We have mutual friends. I mean, yeah. So I think it was on Shiprocked in 2016 when we were jamming Detroit Rock City.
You're right.
It was me, you, the guitar player of Dollskin.
Yeah, right.
And I think that was our first actual jam together, I think.
Which just proves everything is 6 degrees of separation from Kiss.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
without Kiss, none of us would be here. We openly admit it.
The radio world is like the same way too. Everybody knows everybody. I know how it is in the rock world as well. So I mean, once you tour with some bands and just everybody.
Well, I think
becomes-
musicians too. You come to rely on guys. You play with certain people, and you're kind of like, you know what, that's a good fit here. That's a good fit there. We've had an all-star thing. It started as Metal Masters. It was kind of this clinic all-star thing. It morphed into this other thing, Metal Allegiance, and we've all shared the stage jam. And that's just we're all buddies, basically sharing our record collection on stage.
sharing your love for music.
Yeah,
you
just
know?
jamming. So when we came to time to put this together, to tour, right away, Frank and I said, look, let's call Ron, and I said we need a drummer, and Ron said, why don't we call Christian, because we had just done my storyteller thing, bass story, where Ron was actually Ron was on the bill as well, doing his really a solo thing more than anything, not really a clinic. It was like a solo
Kind of a guitar story, just not enough
guitar
stories.
story. Yeah, guitar story, bass story.
You have stories.
Yeah.
You have stories.
I think that's one of the
I've heard
fun
my
things
stories.
now at this age is we have these stories. I mean, sometimes I'll go out and do these storyteller things, and I realize everybody in the audience, none of them were even born when these things were going down. Peace Cells tour. The
We
Killing
love
Us
to
With-
hear the stories, though.
Yeah, they are. They're fun. It's funny. I think probably we all grew up. Whoever it would be. Yes, The Who, Led Zeppelin, Kiss, of course. And we would hear them tell these stories. We're like, oh my God, we're fascinated because they shaped our lives. And it's funny now we are those guys.
It's true.
It's very strange how it came to be like that, but that's all this is about. Even the songs, they're all about storytelling.
Yeah.
Really, that's what I love the stories. I
Yeah,
love a
that's-
good story gets you into it, and
And rock stars have some of the best stories.
yeah, you do.
That which didn't kill us only made us write a better book.
Exactly.
That's right. Dave has another book coming out.
Another book.
Oh,
book.
well,
See?
let's give it a
Just
plug
shameless
right
plug
now. Yeah.
I'm doing his plug stuff. Look at this.
We're trying to write one. I've been telling Frank, you got to write a book. You have such a great story in you. That's the I guess the saying, right? Is we all have at least one book in us, and that's our life story. And I wrote a music business book in the '90s called "Making Music Your Business," and it was just kind of me as I guess somewhat successful musician writing to a lot of our fans who are also musicians. But I did a memoir 5 years ago called My Life with Death, and now I have a second one coming out called More Life with Death, and that's coming out in July.
Where is it available for purchase?
It'll be available everywhere. It's from a publisher called Jawbone Press out of the UK. They do like Max Cavalera's book. They do a lot of these rock and roll books, which is cool. So it's great because a lot of this, really quite honestly, a lot of this stuff, Altitudes and Attitudes, the coffee company, the record label, and some of these other things, and also because we relaunched Combat Records, and that quite honestly took my story back to the very beginning and origins of Megadeth, which was a really fun period. And I think in our probably for both me and Frank, the 80s of thrash metal is a large piece of history that really hasn't been told, because we weren't really rocking MTV yet at that point. All those magazines that were around, Hit Parade or Circus, they're all out of print. So there's a big piece of that history that's kind of just vanished, and you can't get it on YouTube and you can't get it on the internet. So I think, hint, Frank, on your book that you need to write, please. He's got some stories because he's in a band with his uncle. I mean, it's almost incestuous. It was like crazy, the Anthrax story.
You are a busy guy, Frank.
I don't want to be this busy. But I love, look, we're very lucky. Let's be real here for a second. We're very lucky to do what we do. We play music for a living. How lucky are we?
Yeah,
and I
seriously.
thank God for it, believe me. But at the same time, it is nice. Like I've been home for 7 days right now, David.
Yeah.
I got to, not to sound disgusting, go on my own bowl, the whole thing. It was great. It was great. Home bowl advantage. We all know that. We all want the comforts of life, right?
Of course.
And all of a sudden, I look at this app on my phone, says I have a flight tomorrow. And you know what I mean? It's like, what is that? 7 days for my bed. My bed was nice for 7 days. And now I'm in, where were we last night?
We
hotel.
flew into Chicago.
Yeah,
we
but-
were here in Pleasant Prairie. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kenosha. Yeah.
Yeah, we
well,
went
it's like
to-
the what is the song remains the same. The famous Led Zeppelin film. There. When John Paul Jones, the bass player, is home with his kids in the castle, fee, fi, fo, fum, and all of a sudden the itinerary shows up, tour dates. He's all excited and he looks at it and he goes, but these are tomorrow, and you're ripped away from your family. And
You are ripped, though. I mean, look, I had to lease a car. I forgot my lease was up on my car, right? And this week I make a stupid deal. Mr. Lease Man. I'm not a lease man. So I had to have an argument with, thank God the guy was an Anthrax fan. The manager at the Honda dealership for my wife's car, this is too personal now, I know, I'm sorry. But it's a Honda dealership. The guy's a diehard Anthrax fan, so he hooked me up. So I guess it's all meant to be sometimes, right?
Yeah, sometimes I name drop myself. I'm like, do you listen to WIIL Rock? Like, do you know who I am?
It saves a dime, I'm there. That's what I'm saying.
I usually just name drop myself to cops when I'm getting pulled over. So I'm like,
See, we don't get that. See, we can't do that. I would love to get out of a ticket once in a
you
while.
should try it. You should name drop yourself if you ever get pulled over. I mean,
free card.
I remember one time, this is real quick, the only one time I got out of being ticketed and all that good stuff was Anthrax was playing the Brendan Byrne Arena in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And it was a local show, so all my family and stuff. And I got pulled over by a state trooper. Not fun. And look, I'm from New York, so I'm always prepared. I had a baseball bat in the back seat. This guy took me apart because that was a weapon.
Yeah.
And he takes out the bat. He goes, "What is this?" I say, "That's a baseball bat." And you play baseball? You don't look like you play baseball with that hair, right? So I go through the whole thing. I said, "I'm from the Bronx. That's security in case there's an issue." Blah blah blah. He goes, "Get out of the car." Blah blah blah. As he's frisking me, you see this place? The Brendan Byrne Arena was right there.
Yeah.
What are you doing next week? So he goes, "Yeah, I'm working. What do you think I'm doing?" I said, "You into heavy metal?" "Why, you're in a band?" Blah, blah, blah. He used the name Anthrax? No way. So he looks at the license. Oh, man. All right, listen, I'm going to give you a break. I got out of that ticket. I mean, he was frisking me, though.
He was a Mets fan and you're a Yankees fan. That's where the problem is.
no,
What is
no.
this baseball bat in the back?
That's true, but I don't look like I play baseball.
Hey, Frank, I know a way to get out of that. You have to have a mitt and a ball with the bat.
yeah.
So you see, he's done it before. See, that's it.
Playing Little League with my son.
That's what you gotta do.
Hey, before we get into another song, Dave, I have to thank you. I've got to bring this up. About 5 years ago, I did an interview with Megadeth in Fort Myers at Fort Rock.
Yes.
And it was Dave Mustaine and you. And I was just like bouncy, carefree, new girl in radio, doesn't know anything about anyone. And Dave Mustaine walks in, and I was like, wait, who are you again? And he was not very...
That's the wrong thing to say.
Yeah. Well, I've got to thank you, though, because he refused to do the interview the rest of the time, and you picked it up and were like, I'm going to help this poor girl.
I got you, girl.
So you had my back, and I never got to thank you for it.
That's what we do. That's what we do. We help each other out.
Yeah, so thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting us into your
My
living room.
interview
Yeah.
skills are way better now, though, I feel.
You're
So.
doing great. You're doing great.
That's awesome.
All right, so you want to get into some music? Let's do it.
Should I talk about what the
what
song's
is this?
about
Yeah,
first?
go
Yeah,
for
this
it.
song is a song called Slip. It's from the Get It Out record from Altitudes and Attitude. I grew up in the Bronx, as we just talked about, and I grew up in this house that had 3 floors, and from the top it was my room, and there was a bar right around the corner that this man used to come out just about every night, about 11, 12 o'clock at night. And he used to walk, he was drunk from the bar. That was his nice. He was a nice little friendly man. And I watched this man every night, and I heard him sing. He would sing a lullaby every night. He would walk around the corner, and he'd sing a lullaby. And I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. There they are, they're standing in a row. Big ones, small. I mean, it was a beautiful little thing. And he did this every night. And more nights than others, he would be more drunk. And then I think after a while, day after day, week after week, this was pretty much every night, then I think he got into the drugs. And that took effect. And I see him slowly walking down, stumbling a little more. And week after week, month after month, I saw him go down. And it really affected me because I really looked forward to seeing him every night. And I saw him slipping away because the drugs, it was taking effect. And all of a sudden, there wasn't that much singing anymore. And he was just almost limping home. And then one day, I didn't see him anymore. And that was it. And he just slipped away. So it really affected me So I just watched this man. It's a fictional character. I call him Mr. Walters. That wasn't his name. But it still breaks me up a little bit just because it meant a lot to me because he was such a happy person, and I saw what the effects of what the drugs and the drinking did to him, and he just slipped away. So with that happy note, this is called Slip. Mr. Walters had it easy, always seemed to have it all. Never worried, never needed, never bothered anyone. He was on it, he was free and helped him feel good all night long. When he got there were no cares, and his night had just begun. Slip away, as he fell into that hole. Slip away, and he's never going home. He said, again, I'm never going home again. He said, again, I'm never going home. Now he's all in, better living, can't see what's right from wrong. Doesn't know it, like a zombie, he's up all night to dawn. Going nowhere, living nightmare, he thinks he has it all. Going nowhere, and his head here, and his light had just begun. Slip away, as he fell into that hole. Slip away, and he's never going home. He said, again, I'm never going home again. He said, again, I'm never going home. He said again, that's all he said, I'm never going home again. He said again, that's all he said, I'm never going home. If he decides to die, he's gonna own it. If he decides to hide, it's what it is. He keeps the high alive, and now he's glowing. He keeps the high alive, enough to win. He wins. He said, again, I'm never going home again. He said, again, I'm never going home. He said again, that's all he said, I'm never going home again. He said again, that's all he said, I'm never going home. That's from Mr. Walters. I had a little thought of him. Funny, during that, I had that little thought of him, and I took a moment to pause. I had that vision of him. I do that sometimes in these songs because they're like the stories of my life, and I actually saw him just a little while ago while I was singing that, walking down the Graff Avenue where I used to live, and I felt so bad for him. I did. Wow. God rest his soul. All good.
Thank you guys so much. Altitudes and Attitudes live here in Studio East, thanks to the U.S. Army. Thanks so much for taking some time out. What is your touring schedule like now? What is going on with you?
Great question, David.
Well, we have this week. We launched in Europe back in February, and then we have this week here. Like every day, we play old school in the van.
Every day.
Old school, and visiting our friends at radio like you. So thank you. We're down to Madison tonight, over to Chicago tomorrow night. Indiana.
We're in Chicago.
What's that?
Where in Chicago?
We are playing at Reggie's in Chicago.
Oh, okay. That's
yeah,
cool. Have
so
you ever been there before?
Yeah, we have. In fact,
It's a
when
cool old school rock
is.
place.
Love it.
Like it's got a lot of history to
a
it.
lot of
so.
history. In fact,
And good
5 years
beer.
ago we played there when that
Absolutely.
EP came out. We only had 3 songs. Somehow we played an hour of music. I don't know how we
Did
did
a lot
that.
of covers.
But,
A lot of talking that night too.
Then we're over to Indiana, Ohio. We end up at the Machine Shop up in Flint, Michigan, next Sunday, and then we're Frank and I go our separate ways to do Anthrax, Megadeth stuff. Ron's got a cool gig. Can you talk about that yet or not?
I guess I can.
Yeah.
Should.
Yeah, it was just announced today. The band Asia. Remember them?
Yeah.
I never meant to be so bad to you.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to be their new lead singer and guitar player.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Super
Yes,
good.
just announced the tour. It's probably going to be about 30 dates total. I think 26 of them are online now. Yeah, we're going to tour around the U.S. I think we got a show in Toronto too. And Asia will be direct support for them, followed by John Lodge of the Moody Blues and Carl Palmer's ELP Legacy with Arthur Brown. Remember him?
Yes.
Wow.
I am the god of hellfire. Yes. So they're going to be doing. So it's going to be a
He's so metal. Yeah.
great tour.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of practicing to do.
So we
You
have to
are
let
going
Ron
to
go
be a
home.
hell of a busy man this year, it seems like, with all of these projects that you've taken
and
on. How do
Sons
you...
of Apollo too. Sons of Apollo. We're finishing up the new album of that, and we'll be working that next year. So, yeah.
What do you guys do on your free time? Like when you
What free
actually
time?
have free time?
This is our
yeah.
free time. We book a tour.
This is our free time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We
actually,
get together and we make more music.
Do you have any hobbies? Like, do you, other than playing music and singing and writing songs?
No.
I'm really
I mean-
shallow.
Yeah. We collect stamps when we're at home.
I'm a numismatist.
I make coffee. That's my thing. I like
Yeah, well, I know that you have a
Sauce.
coffee line,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What?
Well, unfortunately, you can do that from anywhere. So that's what actually one of the things I love about traveling the world is all this great coffee. That's everywhere. And the different styles. I was in Turkey a couple of weeks ago, so they're really passionate about their Turkish coffee. A little gritty for me. I'm a little more into the European style coffee. And of course, in America, the drip coffee, that's just our thing. That's kind of what we do. But you realize the drip coffee is not something that's everywhere around the world. The Japanese love drip coffee because they love a lot of American things. But it's not so popular everywhere. So I carry my French press. I travel
I
with
love
all
me
my
a French
goods.
press.
Oh, the French presses.
This morning at the hotel. Hey, Dave, how are you? He's got his French press in his hand.
You got to do it. You got to do
addicted.
it. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, I know Megadeth and Ozzy were coming around the area this summer, and obviously Ron, as you know, will be coming around with Asia. Where are you going? You're going to Europe this
Going
year,
to hell.
I think, right?
I actually, right after this, I fly right out to L.A. to write with Anthrax, write some songs with Anthrax, and then we have the whole. Imagine I have a month of May off, which is incredible. I can't
Unreal.
wait. And then all of June was festivals with Anthrax.
Yeah.
All the European festivals. So we'll be quite busy in South America, September, October, all that good stuff.
Where does
So-
everybody call home? Do
New
you all
York.
live in LA?
New York
or-
for me.
You're New York?
Yeah, I'm out in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Scottsdale. Yeah.
Joyzy.
Joyzy.
Yep. And by the way, you should give a shout out to Christian back here. His band Dead by Wednesday is going to be going out with Flotsam and Jetsam. I think May.
When do you
got
start
your
that?
album's coming out.
We have
in
an
about a
album
month?
coming out on your label, Combat, April 19th.
Yeah.
And then we go out May through June with direct support with Flotsam and Jetsam.
Yeah.
And I'm
We'll have
from
a
Connecticut.
great
Yeah,
new
make
album.
sure that you guys send me all the new music because I have a segment on my show called the 420 Hit of the Day.
Perfect.
And the listeners can puff it if they like it or pass it if they don't.
Puff it or pass it.
So I like to get new music for that, so we're always down to hear those.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We need that
Great.
too. Believe me,
Awesome.
it's very important.
I'm your girl right here.
Yeah, good girl.
From
Thank you.
Chicago to Milwaukee, our station reaches. So
Some cool frames. I'm digging them.
thank you. You know where I got them. I'm a
Smart
discount shopper.
Yeah, smart girl, unlike me.
All right, so you want to get into another song here?
Sure. Do one more before we head to Madison, maybe? Is
All
that
right,
cool?
let's hear it.
How's that?
This is. You want to talk about this song, David?
I don't know. What one should we play? No, why don't you talk about it?
Oh, I'm going to play late.
Yeah, yeah.
After we rehearse this.
Just name that tune.
We
I'm
don't know
like,
anything.
yeah.
This is the single off the record, and what it means. This song, it's called "Late." I came home from one of these tours that we've been talking about, and I noticed that my now 12-year-old son grew about almost an inch higher, and I missed a lot. And I realized how fast life is, and you don't realize until it's gone. So you better enjoy it now, each moment. And not only for family, just in general, your family members, people passing, all that stuff. So not to sound depressing, but you do it now. Whatever you want to do it now, because before it's too late. So I'll segue into that. Not going down again, and it doesn't matter what it is. I don't know whatever lies ahead, but it's never gonna be my end. I wanna make some changes that I need to see. It's hard to say, I'm not the man I wanna be. Time goes by, but time will never tell you it's too late. What you leave behind, not so hard to find. Then you realize it's too late. What you see in life, gone before it's time. Then you realize. I know the light out there, but I never really had to care. Didn't think I need to give a damn until it hit me in the face again. It's another way of how to think. I didn't want to see. It's not the same, and I do learn before I speak. Time goes by, but time will never tell you it's too late. What you leave behind, not so hard to find. Then you realize it's too late. What you see in life, gone before it's time. Then you realize. It's too late. What you leave behind, not so hard to find. Then you realize it's too late. What you see in life, gone before it's time. Then you realize. Thanks, folks. Good times.
Altitudes and Attitudes live in Studio East, thanks to the U.S. Army. Again, thank you guys so much for coming out and hanging out with me today.
Oh, thank you.
All the way
Thank you for
from
having
Japan, right?
Exactly.
Just
Straight
for
from
me.
Japan. And thank you for having us, and thank you for sincerely the support you've given us. Really, the station, big time for us, so thank you. It's more than worth it to come out here and say thank you.
Hell yeah. Anytime
Sincerely.
you guys are out here, whether it's with this band or any of your other bands, feel free to stop by
Absolutely.
and say what's up to
You know
us.
the deal.
Yeah.
We love you
Absolutely.
guys. All right, Altitudes and Attitude live in Studio East, thanks to the U.S. Army.
$1,000 a day. Listen to Will Rock Monday through Friday. We'll give you a